Hello, our group will be presenting on the topic Enterprise Launching and its Procedures. For this presentation, the group members presenting are we have Achumo Yantan, Shavini Krome, Itika Kati, Shala Zakat, and Victor J. Ayer. These are the contents for our presentation. Introduction to Enterprise Launching, Steps and Procedures of Enterprise Launching, Review and Conclusion. To begin with, we all know that an enterprise is a profit business that is run by an entrepreneur. So a potential entrepreneur has to follow a step-by-step approach to start a new venture. And the procedure in setting up a business unit is time-consuming, complex, and complicated activity. It involves various steps, procedures, and formalities, which will be presented by my fellow co-members.
So the steps and procedures of enterprise launching, the first step is product selection. Product selection means the setting a type of business selection or the product range of manufacturing with its quantity. In order to develop a small scale industry, a suitable project needs to be decided, which involve the suitable of a project or services and a perfect location for the business unit. So the following things will be included in the project selection and preliminary activities. So the first step is selecting the product or services. Second, selecting the location. Third, conducting project feasibility study. Fourth, preparing the business plan. Fifth, and the last one will be preparing project profile. Second step of the steps and procedures of enterprise launching is decide the constitution. Most of the new entrepreneurs do not have a clear vision related to various legal and other government-related factors associated with the selection of certain businesses, which could result in mistakes, costing time and money. The constitution of the business is to be decided by its promoters before starting any industry, which are mainly of following types. First point is sole proprietorship. Second, partnership. Third, cooperative or limited company. Fourth, cooperative, and the last one will be franchising.
I'll be presenting on the continuation, that is registration and the clearance from the specific department. So registration is a new venture. Venture is very important, though not mandatory, but its advantages for a business unit as it provides a legal identification and also status on the business. So registration is something not compulsory, but we can run a small business without being registered. So, but its advantages is it provides a legal identification. Example like when anything happens to an entrepreneur or a shop, it is easy to access to the government because we have the legal identification. It also allows us to run a smooth conduct of a business without much more interference. So if they have a registration, we can access to export and import raw materials without any much restriction. And also, one huge advantage of being registered is the state and the local governments safeguard our business name, and it also access the bank loan to expand our business. So the next step is clearance from the specific department. So on the basis of the nature of the industries and the location of the business unit, various type of approvals are required for different departments. Different authorities like agricultural land conversion, factories act, building land approval, pollution control board clearance, skills and registrations, and center access registration and drugs and cosmetic license. So after taking all this approval from the various departments, we can set up a business plan.
I'll be presenting on point 5, 6, and 7. So, in order to start my presentation on point 5, let us first know what location is. So, like it's written here clearly, in terms of location, it shows the areas where the project materials and equipment scope of work are installed, and the general areas where the work is performed. So like when we talk about the location, so deciding the location for constructing the business unit is the next thing. So the entrepreneur also has to decide whether to buy or rent the business location. It is also important to decide the size of both cover and open areas, etc. This is quite important to have an appropriate industrial site or a ready industrial shed for any industrial project. According to the business required, an industrial site can be taken and a shed can be constructed, or already constructed shed can be owned or leased. So the land for this project can be taken for the State Industrial Area Development Board, where the decision about the business location is made. So the entrepreneur can also buy a private land by fulfilling all the legal formalities related. So with the conversion of land use to industrial purpose. So that's all about location. And the next point is machinery and equipment selection. So this machinery and equipment selection, it means the industrial fixture and item attached to a building or routine. So let me further elaborate this topic. So depending upon the selected product, different machines and equipment required for production are selected, and also the different supplies and their costs are evaluated, and the different these costs are evaluated and selected. So the scheme of this small-scale industrial cooperation (SI) can be used in which different machines and equipment can be acquired, and on the basis of hiring system, it is also advisable to have a proper plan for machines and equipment in advance, so particularly in case where they are to be obtained from other cities, states, or nations. So it is quite important to select and order more suitable machineries, technologies, and process specification can also be provided in most of the buying incidents. However, the absence of such specification, it is required to conduct an extensive techno-economic survey for the required machineries and equipment. An entrepreneur can also look for such missions in the international trade fairs and engineering. So before taking the decision related to machines and equipment, entrepreneurs should take advice from expert dealers and suppliers. And also like second-hand equipment machineries are quite popular among entrepreneurship of SSI. So this is one of the major factors that influence the growth of small-scale industries. So outdated machine result in low and efficient product, which is ultimately hinders the growth of SSI. So this is mainly due to the inevitable of funds and for new machines and equipment. So however, the SSI entrepreneurs are often benefited from government agencies like National Small Industrial Corporate, which provide machines and equipment units a little longer repayment and with a lower interest rate. So next we'll be moving on to project report preparation. So in order to understand this, in short, we can say that this project report preparation will provide a detailed understanding about the project and reveal its techno-economic feasibility. So one of the nature of ownership, machine, equipment, and location are decided. The entrepreneurs must prepare the feasibility study and project report, so that a project report can be of clear understanding and also a detailed understanding about the project and reveal its techno-economic feasibility. So with the help of this project report, economic feasibility and the technical feasibility of the selected product can be ensured. And also this report will help in deciding the production, marketing, financial and management plans. So the project report also aids in proceeding finance, sheds, power connection, water connection, and raw materials, etc. So suitable planning is quite vital for a new project or venture, which can be done with the help of detailed project report. So the report also helps the entrepreneur in planning and implementing a complete project. It is also useful in obtaining changes of finance and other legal permission. While preparing a project report, following point must be kept in mind. So first we must provide a portable application of the project report, and secondly, providing details by not disclosing any confidential information. And also thirdly, validation of data and information provided in the report, and also effective presentation of data by using different chart, graphic, and picture format. And also we have the timelines and cost minimization. And last but not the least, we have the correct estimate and number of printed copies are required. So all these above mentioned points are required in order to progress for this project report preparation.
So I will be continuing on these points. Project appraisal. Project appraisal, in viewpoint of entrepreneurship, evaluation is an enterprise is called project appraisal. And what is project appraisal? Project appraisal is to evaluate the project from the viewpoint of economic appraisal, financial appraisal, technical appraisal, management appraisal, and market appraisal. And why we need to conduct this project appraisal is so that there is feasibility of the project in the enterprise. And how to bring a feasibility in this project appraisal is to provide detailed appraisal project. We need to include all the informative report of the appraisal. So next point, we have finance. Finance can be considered as the backbone of a new venture. To start a new enterprise, every entrepreneur needs a fund or a finance. Without a fund, there is no entrepreneur or a business can start up, because it is also finance is considered as the backbone and the key to success to your entrepreneurship and your new venture. And one can seek capital assistance and venture capital from the state financial institution, central financial institution, as well as private and public sector banks. An entrepreneur can also avail business loans and schemes from the non-banking financial companies and microfinancial institutions, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, Rural Employment Generation Program, and so forth. So on the last step, we have implement the project and obtain final clearance. So after following all the procedures of the enterprise launching, the step of implementation of the enterprise project process begins. We will order machineries, recruiting manpower, procuring raw materials and marketing resources so that the enterprise venture can start up. In conclusion, enterprise launching or launching of enterprise simply means a promotion of a new venture with a strategized formalities of procedures which needs a marketing research and a market research, as a market research will tell you if there is an opportunity to turn your idea into a successful venture or business. Thank you.